Okay, it's time. I haven't spoken about this yet. I've had questions about the third eye and chakras. And so in today's video, I wanted to talk about opening up the third eye. Many people, especially in spiritual communities and in the spiritual scene, talk about opening the third eye, trying to open the third eye. How do I open the third eye? And so I want to go through some details today and explain my point of view with regards to the third eye. Now, as many of you know, I was introduced to meditation when I was really young, 6 years old, and I've been doing it for about 20 years. And I've been under the guidance of my dad and also a very advanced spiritual teacher, which I've spoken about many times. He is what's known as an avatar. So he's someone that I actually met on a higher plane, not originally, but in a meditation. I came out at the top of my body, was in a totally different state of consciousness, met my teacher up on this higher plane. Sounds crazy. I've made loads of videos about it, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I feel like I always have to caveat these videos because I don't look like your typical meditation teacher. So sorry about doing that if you're familiar with my channel. But I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into his view on opening the third eye. What he used to say was quite different to what many other teachers I hear talk about these kind of subjects anyway, say about opening the third eye and just chakras generally. He used to say that most human beings don't fully understand what they're doing when it comes to the chakras. He says that most human beings think they know what's right for them. They believe that it's time for them to open this chakra or that chakra or the third eye. And actually, they might be getting it wrong. And they might be right, and many people probably are right. But just as many people are probably wrong. And it can be very dangerous if you try to open a chakra that you're not ready to open yet. Because if you do, you can open yourself up to much more energy than you're ready for. And the way that I would describe this, and this is something that I've experienced myself, fortunately I was only given the amount of energy that I was ready to receive, because I followed the guidelines that I'm going to explain in this video. But it feels like if you imagine a light bulb, and you imagine a 30-watt light bulb, if you were to put 1,000 watts through that light bulb, the light bulb would blow because it can't cope with that amount of energy. It needs to be a bigger light bulb. It needs to be appropriate for that amount of energy. And in the same way with our spiritual growth, the more we meditate, the more years we have under our belt of doing this work, the more we gradually peel away the layers of ego, we are more primed and ready for the next stage, you could call it, or the next level of energy. But if you're at one level and you start working on 3-4 levels up from where you actually are, and you open that, you're opening yourself up to much more energy than you might be able to manage. And as I said, I had an experience of this when I was on a meditation retreat for 10 days, and I had an enormous energy release. Fortunately, I wasn't doing any meditations that were working too heavily on a specific chakra that I believed I was ready to open or anything like that. I was just doing an ordinary meditation. I wanted to let you know that I've got a school community. It's called the Inner Journey Community. I host weekly live sessions, weekly live meditation sessions. There's an amazing group there. Feel free to join us. Links down in the description. So this expansion that took place in me was correct. It was the right amount of energy. It was the right time because I'd done everything in a very gentle way. However, saying that, I felt as though I could not take any more energy. I felt like if my being was a 30-watt being, I had 30 watts put into me. There was no room for any more wattage. And so I got the exact amount that I needed, but this was because I was asking for guidance from higher beings. I was being guided, and I was doing meditations that were safe and that weren't facilitating the opening of something that I was just sort of guessing at. So I would really warn you against trying to work on specific chakras if you just have an inkling or an idea that they may be the chakra that you need to work on. He also used to say, and still does say, that much of what we believe chakras to represent isn't actually accurate. And I can't really make much of a comment on this myself because, as I was saying, as human beings, we don't actually know what's really right or wrong. We have to really connect with higher beings or a higher self or God or whoever it is that you believe in, and really let them do the work, because we don't know what's right for us. We don't know whether we're ready to open the third eye. You know, we might be right down still at the root chakra. How do we know? I mean, we just don't know. And as I say, by facilitating the opening of something that you're not yet ready for, it can be very, very dangerous. And there are many people that are in, you know, have gone into psychosis because they've opened it themselves up to an amount of energy or a transformation that they're not yet ready for. So it can be dangerous. And what you're really better off doing, rather than trying to open the third eye, which is very legitimate and it is there and it can be opened, but rather than trying to do that, just go to your higher self or God or the divine, whatever it is you believe in. Ask them to guide you in a way that's appropriate. Do meditations that kind of build you up steadily. So it's a bit like going to the gym. If someone said to you they want to start to be able to bench press 120 kilograms, you wouldn't take them into the gym if they've never been before or if they've just started and put 120 kilograms on the bench. You'd start them off at 50 kilograms and you'd do that for a few months, and then you'd move them up to 55, 60, then you'd move them up to 65, 70. Everything has to be gentle, otherwise the body can't cope with that amount of weight. We have to take our spiritual work in the same way. Rather than trying to guess or open things or facilitate some kind of release that we might not yet be ready for, we're better off doing the fundamental practices, asking for guidance from our higher self or from the divine, and the higher self itself or the divine, whatever it is you believe in, will actually facilitate the opening of the chakras when it's ready for you, when it's the right time for you, when it's right for you, I should have said. When you're ready for those to open, they will open, providing you connect with whatever it is you believe in, the universe, your higher self, and ask it before you meditate. Please, when it's time for me, when the time is right, please can you help me to open the appropriate chakra at the appropriate time? Because believe me, if you open something that you're not ready for, you will know about it, and it won't be a pleasant experience. So this is my guidance when it comes to opening the third eye. Yes, you can do it. Yes, the third eye is there. Yes, it's a massive expansion when it does happen, but no, I wouldn't advise you to start to do that by your own doing, if that makes sense. I would advise you just to go to the divine or God or whatever and ask for that process to take place when you're ready for it. That is absolutely crucial when you're on this journey, or you can cause yourself a lot of problems. There's a lot of people who make videos about how to open the third eye, and they know that they're very clickbait videos. They know they're going to get the views, so just be wary of those kinds of videos. And this is my advice. I hope it helps you, but ultimately it's up to you. You have free will. Do as you please on your spiritual journey, but do be careful. Anyway, thanks so much for watching up till now. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.